I'm Jessica.
And today we're going to be sharing our February TBR. If you watched our January TBR, you know we're big mood readers. So again, we'll see how this goes.
It's a list of possibilities.
Not to give too much of a spoiler, but I did pretty good last month on reading what I talked about in our video.
I read half. I read a lot in January.
You did.
But I think I got a little sidetracked by a book I picked up, which led to another book. And here we are, continuing in February.
It's fine. There's absolutely no
shame
reason why reading other books we own is wrong.
Right.
I still made a dent in my physical TBR, and that's what matters. So, would you like me to go first?
Yeah, you go ahead.
Okay, my first book I'm going to be talking about... Shut up. They're the shoes, remember? Is Daisy Jones and the Six, and I've actually already read this, I think 2 years ago, when it was, super popular. But I want to go in and annotate it and reread it before the show comes out March 3rd. And basically, if you don't know what this is about, Daisy Jones and the Six is a fictional rock band in the 70s. And it just kind of is a coming-of-age story. But what's very unique about this is that it's told in interview format. So there's literally nothing but dialogue. And so you just read it so incredibly fast. I've heard the audiobook is good because it's like a podcast, because it's just, a bunch of people talking the entire time. You don't have to memorize locations or anything. But the casting of this is great. I'm just so excited for the show, so I really want to reread this before, but I was trying to find Taylor Jenkins Reid actually wrote songs for the book, and so now they've all been recorded and will be on an actual album, which is just...
That's taking it up a whole new notch.
So cool.
You're an author and a songwriter? It's pretty legit.
Yeah. This book is very emotional, I can't even talk today. All of Taylor Jenkins Reid, her books, are very emotional because they're all character-driven, which, I know is a theme in literary fiction, but something about her books is just a whole nother level. Every character is so different, not surface level at all, and I just love it so much.
And another reason Emmalynn loves it, in case you want to know a little fact about Emmalynn, she loves all things 70s.
I do.
She says she was born in the wrong era.
I truly was. I love the decor, the fashion, the music, the hair.
The makeup.
I'm now about to enter maybe my wispy fringe bang era because of the 70s. And I need to transform myself into an art teacher.
You can just dress up as Daisy Jones.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't really see the problem.
Okay, the first book I'm going to talk about is a carryover from January, and that is Winter People by Jennifer McMahon. And this is a book that has dual timelines. So it starts out, I believe, in the early 1900s in Vermont, and a little girl, I think, or a daughter, is found dead shortly after her mom had just died. No, swap that, reverse it. The mom dies shortly after her daughter dies. And no one really knows why. I don't think it's ever solved. And then fast forward to present day, this new mother moves in with her two daughters. And the mom is set on them living off the grid. The daughters don't really understand why. And the mom goes missing. And this is on the back of the book, so it's not a spoiler. And then one of the daughters finds a diary from this previous family that lived in there that kind of experienced the same thing. So it goes back and forth in time between the past, which I'm assuming the present day daughter is reading from the diary, and then what this now present day family is experiencing. And it just sounds creepy. It gives the Village vibes, which we're always
Big
all
fans.
about. I don't know. And it's called Winter People, so I feel like you just have to read it in winter, and we don't have much time left in the winter. I'm hoping. So I need to finish this.
Too. My next book is for a video. We're not going to say what video some of these books are for, but I just want to say, this is not my first choice, so yes, this is for a video. When it comes to, like, the dystopian era, I'm a hardcore Hunger Games girl. Nothing is ever going to beat it. I don't care what anyone says. Maze Runner isn't it. I'm not reading the Matched series ever.
Shatter Me.
I will maybe read Shatter Me.
But you haven't.
I haven't. And in my mind, nothing beats Katniss and Peeta. Like, no couple. Just
No couple? Really? No,
maybe
no
some,
dystopian couple.
Yeah, no dystopian
Okay.
couple. Cassie and Jace are my number one. And, people from other series as well. But, like, you can't convince me that, like, Triss and Four are better, or that what even are the people from the Maze Runner books? I don't even know. Anyways, if you don't know, I'm just going to read the synopsis on the back so you get a feel for, the time period and everything. It says, Beatrice Pryor society is divided into 5 factions: Candor the honest, Abnegation the selfless, Dauntless the brave, Amity the peaceful, and Erudite the intelligent. Beatrice must choose between staying with her Abnegation family and transferring factions. Her choice will shock her community and herself, but the newly christened Triss also has a secret, one she's determined to keep hidden, because in this world, what makes you different makes you dangerous. If that is not Debbie Ryan Yeartuck, I don't know what is, but I will say I love the cover redesign.
For the anniversary. What anniversary is it? 20?
10.
10?
That's
it. Seems like it's been longer since it came out, but...
I feel like the movies probably just came out shortly after the books, and that's why.
I don't know.
Anyways, I need to stop ranting, but Divergent. We'll see.
Okay. I thought this was perfect for February, and that is Heartless by Marissa Meyer. It's kind of like a Queen of Hearts spinoff, I'm assuming. And I have not read any other Marissa Meyer books, so this will be my first. I own Renegades, but I haven't picked that one up yet. But this is about a girl named Catherine who goes by Kath for short. And her family is hoping that she will marry the king and become the next queen. And from what I assume based on the back of the book is it's like the king has already maybe expressed his intentions to marry her, maybe to her family, but she doesn't want to marry him because she wants to have her own business and be a successful businesswoman as a baker. So the king has this ball where I'm assuming he's going to announce his chosen one, and she meets a young man named Jest. Now, I'm assuming he's a jester, but that's just an assumption on my part.
If not, I'll be a little bit disappointed.
I'm picturing, like... Is there a jester? There's not a jester in Alice in Wonderland. The king is, like, looks like one because he's so little and goofy, but... Yeah, there's not. So she enters into this, like, secret courtship with this... Ow. She enters into this secret courtship with Just, our boy Just, and she, I guess, has to decide, does she want to live in secrecy with her man Just, living her best businesswoman life, or does she want to take a risk and marry the king so she can become a queen? So, we'll see how that goes.
Okay, my next book is Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. I think this was in my December TBR. I'm not sure about my January. Definitely my December. And this is about 17-year-old Elin, I believe is how you say her name. And she is just, I mean,
She's a warrior.
She's a warrior. She was born to fight, which is like, get it, you know? We love Viking vibes in this house. Me and Mom, the village and Vikings.
Yeah. Anything in that like realm of being a trope, and
yeah, it's
if you have any recommendations for this,
it's a very niche genre.
Yeah,
but yeah, hit me with it. This is the only duology series, whatever, that I haven't read of Adrienne Young. I've read all her other books. So it's very interesting that I'm like finishing with her first book. But anyways, this is about 17-year-old Elin. She was born to fight. And one day she's on the battlefield and sees her brother fighting for the enemy. The catch is he died 5 years ago. And that's all I know. That's all I want to know. I don't want to know if there's a love interest, which I'm sure there is. Who he is. I don't like knowing any
I'm
of that
sitting
kind of
here
stuff.
pretending I don't know.
It's really hard for me to make these videos sometimes because I like to go in blind for a lot of things because sometimes synopses are just too long. You've told me too much. I like to be surprised. So that's all I'm going to say because that's all I know.
That is the only Adrienne Young book I have read, and I loved it.
So disappointing.
But I loved it. It was great.
But like, keep going.
I know. I will.
I need to read.
I really want to read the Fable duology.
Yes, but I want to read The Girl the Sea Gave Back. I think that's what it's called. The like second one of this, but it doesn't follow this girl.
Mhm. I think it's in the same like realm or whatever.
The cover is like completely different though. But anyways, Sky in the Deep. I can't wait to read this. I'm so glad. I'm finally picking it up.
Okay. The next book on my list, which I will for sure read. This isn't a like, maybe if I'm in the right mood situation, this is happening.
If anything, she'll read none of these except this one.
Yes. And that is Queen of Shadows, the fourth book in the Throne of Glass series. And I won't give a synopsis of this because if you haven't read them, it won't make any sense. But let's just say the girl is going to fight. She's going to fight. And I'm here for it. She's gonna win some things. I feel it in my heart. She's gonna win back. She's gonna take over, take back. I don't know, but she's gonna do it, and she's gonna crush it. I think
you need to be a little more scared for that book, honestly, because I was very like, oh yeah, nothing's gonna go wrong. It's gonna be great.
Don't say. Stop. Just don't say. Intense. Nothing's gonna go wrong. Everything's gonna go right.
Sure.
Okay,
my next. What was that?
That was just me imitating you. That's what you sounded like. Isn't that weird to hear what you sound like from someone else?
My next book is The Stolen Heir by Holly Black. And this is a spin-off series to The Cruel Prince. I'm not entirely sure what Holly Black says, like if you have to read The Cruel Prince first. But I'm not really going to give much of a synopsis as this takes place at the end of the Cruel Prince duology. And I know... Trilogy. My bad. The last two books are my favorite, so I guess I just see it as a duology. But this follows Oak, who is our main girl in the Cruel Prince's little brother. He's like a kid in those books, so the fact that he's like teenager or young adult in this book is like kind of weird for me, but I'm also here for it. Just in fairy world, can't really say much, but I do know our love interest in this book is in the Cruel Prince series, so I'm very excited about that. And I know she has like blue hair. I feel like she's from maybe the Sea World. I feel like something.
Oak is something you would name your child.
100%. Definitely. And I don't really see the problem. But I am just so excited to read this. Katie is reading here on YouTube. I was watching her reading vlog of it, and she was like, I sat down to read the first chapter. I'm on page 80. And
that's a good sign.
Yeah. If people like it more than the Cruel Prince books, I find that very promising because the Cruel Prince wasn't like absolutely everything to me.
Okay. The next book I'm going to talk about is What Lies in the Woods, which was a December book of the month pick.
I thought January.
Or, yeah, it was January. Yes, January. You're right. It was a January Book of the Month pick. And listen, I'm just going to say I totally went out on a limb here because I read These Fleeting Shadows by Kate Alice Marshall, and I hated it. Like, I had such high hopes for it. I enjoyed, like, the first few chapters. The setting was good. People were comparing it to Knives Out, and I was like, okay, I'm all about it. But I hated it. Straight up. There was nothing I liked about it, not even a little bit. So, I honestly picked this as a book of the month just so I could get an add-on.
What did we even get?
We got Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow.
Oh.
And, yeah, but the premise of this does sound interesting. So, it's about these 3 girls that are, like, childhood friends. They go into the woods all the time and they play this certain game. And one day while they're playing this game, one of the girls is attacked. And she identifies who her attacker is. But the problem with that is she lied and it wasn't who she said it is. And so these 3 girls live with this secret for like 20 years, I think.
Dang.
Well, it says decades, so at least 20 years. And so I'm guessing, like, something happens that causes them to revisit what happened, to maybe have the opportunity to tell the truth. I'm not really sure. Oh, yes, it says one of the girls now wants to tell the truth. So, kind of throws a wrench in their whole story that they've been telling for the last 20 plus years. So I am interested to read this because this is her first adult book. I think all of her other ones have been, well, I think she's wrote middle grade and young adult. So I'm interested to see how it plays out, not just because I didn't like her other book that I read, but also because it's her adult debut. So, yeah. We'll see how that goes.
My last book is digital, and it's a Neck Alley arc, but it publishes this month. So if this interests you, it will be available February 21st. And that is Murder Your Employer, The McMaster's Guide to Homicide.
I love that.
And I'm going to put a picture of the cover on the screen because the cover is really what got me. Normally, I'm a little hesitant to request books of authors I've never heard of, but something about this just really
hit home.
Yes. Why should this book hit home? I don't know. But it's basically about, like, this college where, like, their fine arts, their, like, main thing is a degree in homicide. And your, like, thesis to graduate the school is, like, a plan to murder someone. But it has to be, like, justifiable to them. Like, okay, is this the only way to get rid of them is to kill them? Will it benefit more than you? Will it help the whole world if this person is gone? Like, they, like, justify and make it, like, I don't know, ethical. It's very interesting. But yeah, it says, to gain admission, a student must have an ethical reason for erasing someone who deeply deserves a fate no worse nor better than death. And it's called a Poison Ivy League college. And I don't know, it seems like kind of funny, but also very prestigious, and just, I've never heard of something like this before. I love private school murder books, so the fact that this is a private school for murder, I'm so excited. I'm glad I'm talking about this because, like, hyping myself up to read it.
Yeah,
I've been kind of putting it
off.
Yeah, it's just, Neck Alley books are kind of intimidating because some of them don't really have a page count.
Yes.
So you just feel like it's endless. But, yeah, I'm very excited to see what I think, and hopefully it lives up to the cover because I totally judged it by it.
Okay. Okay, the last book I'm going to talk about is also a digital book, and it can be found on Kindle Unlimited. So if you have that, maybe check it out. So I wanted to pick up this book when we went to Pal's, but they didn't have it, and then I saw it was on Kindle Unlimited, so I was like, bet I'll just read it on Kindle Unlimited. So this is by Sarah Adams, who wrote The Cheat Sheet, When in Rome. That's all I can think of off the top of my head, but it's like a Regency duology, and the first one is called To Con a Gentleman. And basically this is about a woman who lives her entire life as a con woman. She kind of like preys upon wealthy men, takes advantage of them, cons them out of her money. So she sets out to con this man, and it's like immediately she's like, maybe this was a mistake because he seems to be a very kind person, but it's like he sees through her wanting to con him immediately and instead kind of like uses her to his advantage too. So I don't know if they have like an agreed upon, I'm going to use you, you're going to use me, but there's like fake dating, which is interesting, set in like a Regency time period, and I think it becomes like a fake engagement potentially. So yeah, I don't want to like read the whole synopsis, but that's pretty much the gist of this. So I'm assuming they're going to end up together, but we'll see. But I don't know. I keep hearing really good things about her, that her romances are like clean and just solid. So I'm excited to pick this one up, and even more excited that it is free to read on Kindle Unlimited. So
I just feel like my eyes have been open to the world of Kindle Unlimited. I'm currently reading a book on there right now.
Yeah, we had it and we didn't even know.
Yeah.
Because my husband uses it.
For like boring.
For like war books.
Like, but
or like that's what you wanted to pick? Okay.
I'm sure you pay for this. I'm sure the library has plenty of copies.
Yeah. But now
it's ruining
our eyes have
my
been open.
Physical TBR. But
I also feel like you kind of like fall down a rabbit hole when you start looking, because there's just a lot out there.
But there's also like some things that you have to order on Amazon because they're like self-published or they don't have them in stores. So it is really nice to have them on there. Like I'm reading the Entangled with Fae series right now, and it's fairy tale retellings. You didn't need to know that, but if you like Fae and low to none spice, which is surprising for Fae books, check it out. It's my Disney heart is loving it. So yeah, just spoiled my wrap up. But anyways, I think that's all the books I am definitely going to read. There's a few in my head that I'm like, maybe, but for sure these need to happen for me. Anyways.
I will for sure read at least half of them. I will make that guarantee.
You don't have a choice.
You're right. Actually, I will for sure have to read at least 4 of these. For other reasons we won't talk about right now.
Okay. Well, we hope you enjoyed our video. Stay tuned for our January wrap-up. Keep holding us accountable. And, yeah.
We'll see you in our next video.
Bye.